Yeah, I don't miss high school for these reasons. I just
I don't remember high school.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want to remember it either. I want to leave and not return.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise.
I was so bored of it that on the last day of school ever, I didn't even like say goodbye to any of like my regular friends / acquaintances. I was just like, I'm done, because I spent like an extra 2 years in school that I didn't want to do for A levels. It was like recommend. My parents sort of wanted me to do it, and I figured, you know what, it will give me time to learn some new things on the side as well. So I did it, but my god, I was so they changed so much about like the rules of the school. Even if you had nothing else to do throughout the day, you weren't allowed to leave. So I would sneak out occasionally, and I was so done with it that I just left without saying goodbye to anyone. Like even the teachers I liked, I just walked out, did not look back, and that was the end of it. Just gone.
Yep.
When you snuck out, where did you go? Just back home?
So here's the nice thing. Actually, I shouldn't say this because people are going to start triangulating where I live. There's a family member that lived close to the school, so this would be like a middleman point before home. So I would go there. It was quite fun.
They didn't question you?
No, sometime. Well, actually, yes, once. I left the school, and then they did like a fire drill. So then they figured out that I wasn't there. So I came in on the next day, and the teacher liked me, thankfully. But she was trying to be. You could tell she was trying to be stern, you know, even though she didn't really want to be. I was like, yeah, I won't do it again. So on the same day, I left again early, just to like as a middle finger, and they didn't catch me because I figured, well, they're not going to think I'm going to do it again if they just told me off. So yeah.
Is this a UK thing? Do you have police officers outside your school?
Sometimes.
Is this just American? Okay.
No, yeah, we do, because no, it's not like a common thing, but a lot of the schools get into fights with each other, and it turns into this whole thing. Sometimes they get on like you know, buses and have fights on there.
Did you get in a fight?
No, never with like another school. I was never part of that group.
Do you wish you were?
No.
School gangs, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't have any of that in Australia. Like, well, we have rivalry, but we don't have police hanging outside our schools.
You're civilized.
Yeah, we
actually
didn't either. You guys are all descended from criminals. I kid. And you're in the capital of it. Oh, I kid. That's great though. I love Australians.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome. Every time I've ever traveled anywhere, it's always the Aussies I hang out with because they're the most fun people. They party, and it's not to paint them with a broad brush, of course, but man, I've had some fun with some Australians before that are awesome. Some wild nights.
I've got
traveled to Spain, some crazy stuff.
I've got quite a lot of family out in Australia, and I'd like to go and visit them, but it's just really far.
It's super far.
I would love to. I would,
very far.
Yeah. I would love to go. Love to, man.
I've only been here twice now, so
nice.
Next stop is America if it's still there.
We're burning down the city.
Certainly looks that way, doesn't it? No. We go through our phases.
Actually, when this whole thing started, we talked about this on the podcast. Like, we don't want to make it depressing at all, but
no,
we asked each other, like, you know, how has the pandemic affected you, you know, your work and stuff? But I would like to re-ask that again. Has the pandemic changed anyone in any way? Their work, like their approach to their work, just whatever. Spitball.
Positively, for sure. I have more time to work, like most of us do, I think.
Yeah, I started working from home, and largely I still go in for certain things, which is kind of scary, but I have this spot where I work, and it's also the same spot where I do the YouTube stuff. And so now it's like, if my family sees me doing work, they know not to bother me. But then if I'm doing YouTube and they know that I'm off work, it's free for all. So part of my slowdown on my channel has really been from this. So in one way, I'm getting a lot more done at work. And I'm picking up more freelance work, which is really cool too. But on the other downside, it's like I have about 90 video ideas now. I'm not kidding you. I sat when I went into work, and I was waiting for renders, you know, because I work in Houdini and it's all pretty slow using Matra. And I'm like, what do What do I do? All right, so I pick up a paper and I start writing ideas. I have like 90 ideas, and I don't know when I'm ever going to produce them. So that part's really good. Yeah, really?
It's a good problem.
Awesome. It's a good problem.
And
I'm kind of complaining about it.
I'm experiencing a kind of thing where like my social interaction went down a lot. Obviously, I totally missed the part where like you're actually supposed to call people and stuff. So
It's not too late.
yeah, I need to get my energy back up. I've been working on this big project. I did the same thing with the video ideas. I have like 90 of them. I think I have exactly 90 of them.
That's great. I think we'll probably have the same videos. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe. It's
Well,
just
that'd be
so
weird.
I've been
Be
trying to
really weird.
study this stupid algorithm because it seems like all the videos that I'm least proud of like, blow up. Then my favorite videos ever. I just released this one where I explained all of the nodes in the compositor, all of them. I like studied all of them in depth, made a video on it, like made it bearable to watch, made a PDF about it, all in a week. I was like so proud of it. It took like over 100 hours of work. Then it like did not very well comparatively. It's like, and it seems it's all about the click-through rate and the average view percentage or whatever. Went and looked at the analytics, and it seems like there's nearly a direct relationship between click-through rate and views. So
you're saying
fascinating.
You're saying that that video did really well, or that it didn't do very well, where the other videos did very well comparatively?
Didn't, and there's more than one video where
That's
like
strange because I
didn't have a video for the week. I didn't have a video for the week, so I just turn out something. But I don't put out anything that I'm not proud of, but less proud of. There's this one that I did. I don't know why people watched it, but about desktop icons, like redesigning them.
Yeah, those blew up.
600,000 views. 600,000 views.
Yeah,
that is combined. So I've explained 100 Blender tips, 100 Blender add-ons, 150 Blender tips, all the compositor nodes, all the modifiers, all the shader nodes. That one video that took me about 2 hours to make got almost more views than all of those other videos combined. That total took probably hundreds, like 700 hours total.
Yeah. I saw those videos blow up, and I was like, that was just genius. And I was like, he's genius. And then you came on here, you're like, nah, I just had nothing to do that day. So I was like, let me redesign this Windows desktop icon. So you're like, and and honestly, like your videos, that compositing one you did was genius. I mean, I was like, this is perfect as reference. Like this should have 1 million views for the Blender community. And like, I guess it didn't. I haven't looked at it in about a week, but that was a really good video. And I was like, this is going to blow up.
It's because of the click-through rate. And it feels like the content has now become the marketing. If the topic is more part of the marketing than the content.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? Like,
yeah, I think
CG Fan Man up there can tell you. It's like, he's mentioned it a number of times.
I will say, I take a bit of it. For me, it's the strategy isn't like pick a good idea. It's make a good delivery. Because the last thing I did was about candles. I don't know who was looking for a candle tutorial. Nobody. It's the delivery that matters. Well, what really matters is, do you make something that somebody wants to click on? That's that's the actual metric. But and for some people, it's like, oh, you need to either make a super high quality thing. You need to be super entertaining. You need to give something away for free. Bunch of ways to do it.
Yeah. I think the more you try to, rack your head around it and try and figure out what's the best way to do it, the more you'll just end up stressing yourself out.
Yeah, I was really, I got down about it for a bit because my last 2 videos were lackluster, and actually the space one actually was really, I was very proud of that one, and I don't even know if it broke 10,000 views at this point yet. And I was like, wow, I put a lot of effort into that and a lot of heart. And it's just, it's hit or miss. It really is just hit or miss, and it's just the way it works.
So whenever someone says hit or miss, I just have that song pop into my head. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about?
Wait, can you sing it?
No, I'm not singing it. But
come on, Gertie, I'll sing with you.
No,
you could sing it.
Hit or miss. Hey.
We're not going there.
You also have the video in your head, or just the song?
No, because it's in loads of videos. So
fair enough.
All right.
It's all right.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Back to the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I haven't stopped. I've been going to work every day. We hired an extra 3,000 people. It's been madness for us.
Wait, what do you do for a career?
So my actual job now is senior 3D and VR developer, but I went back to my old job being IT support. And because we process all the job loss claims, obviously there was a lot of people that submitted job loss claims. I think it was like 3 million, and our population's 22. So yeah, we just hired a whole bunch of people to come in, answer the calls, go through all those claims and so on and so forth. And now it's still going, and we're slowly starting to de-ramp, but we're wary of that second wave. I mean, where I am in Canberra, we only have 100. We've only had 108 cases.
Wow.
That's it. And that's just people coming into Canberra. Like, get stuffed.
Wow. So that's so awesome.
We haven't had a new case in weeks. So
I'm happy for you guys. I'm very happy for you guys. Let it stay that way.
Yeah.
108. We have like 108 cases in my house here.
in your attic alone.
Yeah.
You guys in New Zealand and Iceland apparently have just really been able to nail it, man. I mean, maybe it's isolation in the world, but it's I mean, honestly, it's just, man, just stay there. Like, just stay there.
We've not been doing very well in the UK, and there's a lot of reasons for that, I think. I mean, a lot of people want to like pick one reason and go, that's why we're not doing well, but it's not that simple. We have a very high population density for a very small island. Also, a lot of links to basically London itself acts as an international hub for a lot of countries, for people coming in and out, and like, flights in between and stuff like that. So as soon as it kicked off, there was, of course, going to be a spot where it flared up really quickly. Now, with London, there's a lot of densely packed public transport and stuff like that, so of course it spreads really fast. So we've had a lot of deaths, compared to other people. But it's actually, in terms of like mental health and like staying positive and stuff, strangely enough, I've actually been happier during this pandemic than I have been for a long time, which is odd. But apparently that's not a very uncommon thing, because a lot of people, I think, found a sense of relief, or they had an excuse to do nothing, whereas before doing nothing was something you should feel guilty about, but now it's something that you can just do and feel fine about. So you can never feel guilty about wasting time now as much, So I think a lot of people have found some freedom there, but of course there's lots of people that have lost their jobs and are very worried for the future, which is understandable.
I wonder if this is going to be the thing that starts pushing universal basic income. Probably not.
Actually, I was thinking about that, because there are some countries that have implemented that in some way now, I believe. And I think we were thinking about it. It was proposed, but we didn't end up going down that route. But you saying that, I do think some government systems will do.
Yeah, that's a hard one to push. I think definitely in the short term it will help a lot of people, and maybe even in the long term, depending on how this thing plays out. But we're up against walls trying to implement that. That's
it's hard.
Everything now just becomes a political thing, and it's just like, I wish we could just for once just drop all the political stuff and just be like, what's going to actually help people today? Like, there are people suffering. How can we get help to them now? Like, but that's utopian, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.